Hello everyone, and welcome back to the stream. Well, a few minutes ago, we just solved this puzzle room, and I thought we were on our way out, but it seems that, something is delaying us, as a gentleman robot has just sat up and is talking to us.
Ain't right for a fellow's back to feel like this.
And it's talking.
With an accent.
Can't help it, Flower. Didn't choose to talk like this, not by half. Now, Alice, darling, do I rightly recollect you characterising my speech as coarse? Why, that's right cruel, it is. You really think I asked for this? See, they figured they'd give us all personality. Some tosser thought they'd give me this one. It ain't right, I tell you.
Yes, I think that's all of our reactions right now.
Cooper. Right you are, me old son, right you are. Well, go on, have a butchers, mate. What do I look like to you? Robot, you say? Well, nearly there, but they call us Gollums round here.
Gollum?
Oh, I've heard of golems. They're sort of monsters, I guess, from Jewish folklore. They're made from clay, and they look like men. They're supposed to do whatever their master, or creator, or whatever commands them to do.
Well, aren't you a clever bird? You are, of course, correct. The Gollum of myth is a clay creation that moves under its own power. Our spellings are might different, though. The original blokes are spelt Golem, but me and me mates are Gaulem.
Alright, I guess the name of the room is starting to make a bit more sense.
That's an acronym for General Purpose Autonomous Labour Electronic Machine. The truth to tell, it's a bit rubbish when you write it out all like that, but I figure they wanted to make sure they had the Gollum thing in there, you know? What with us being robots and all.
Yeah, it doesn't really work since you're using the first two letters of automatic. The name of the room is Gollum Bay. You can see it in the top right-hand corner.
That don't seem quite kosher. After all of me mates here are Gollums too. I couldn't very well call all of you lot human, could I?
What should we call you then?
Well, we've all got a product ID, and they're unique. I figure that's as good a name as any.
And your ID is?
GTM-CM-G-OLM.
That's way too long. We can't remember that.
What? You taking a mickey out of me? Never had a problem myself. Right then, let's just use the last bit, shall we?
Golm?
Gollum.
Well, I'll be buggered. Can't say I ever noticed that before. Sure, it's a strange coincidence, isn't it?
I'm gonna love to find out where this conversation is going.
What? A gentleman can't say something nice to a pretty young bird, eh?
Oh, that's true. He did know her name.
Oh, she ain't the only one of you lot whose name I know. I know who you are, Sigma, and you too, Luna. I'm right familiar with all 9 of you.
How?
You don't know? Oh, they got cameras all over this place. Well, then again, the lenses aren't much bigger than a screw. And they're all hidden away, so I suppose I can't really blame you for missing them, you know? Now, as I was saying, there were these cameras, you see. and all of the data they record gets sent off to the mainframe in real time. So, I just gave the main core a ring, got those videos, and now I know everything you've done.
I don't suppose Gollum might know where that mainframe is.
Does that mean...
You're Zero Junior?
Cool, blimey. Are you bleeding serious? Oh, you gotta be off your box if you think I'm young Master Zero.
Yeah, I mean, this Gollum's a lot more likable so far than Zero the Third.
The young master is a right proper AI what supervises all the electronic bits and bobs in this place. My humble self, and those with the misfortune to be like me, are more akin to computer terminals who are merely borrowing a little bit of the central core. No, not quite, Governor, not quite. I'd say me and me mates here are more like arms and legs, right? Now, you lot don't have brains in your arms and legs, do you?
Of course not.
Right you are, missus. It'd be all sorts of nasty if your elbows and that lumpy bit on your ankle was all packed with brains. Well, we're like your arms or legs. The Gollum seat of consciousness, so to speak, ain't in the head. Fact of the matter is, it's not anywhere in the body. Which makes a fellow wonder, where is it?
In the mainframe?
Spot on. So that part of me what thinks is in the mainframe. Everything this here body sees and hears and what have you, that all gets sent back there. Then the mainframe does some sort of computery jiggery pokery and comes up with some decisions, and those decisions beget commands.
This kind of sounds like a metaphor for the morphogenetic field.
And those commands are sent over the wireless like boop, 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 and eventually my body picks them up.
Except for robots instead of people.
Finally, those commands cause actions what move the various bits in my body. That's why this thing's like a computer terminal, you see.
I mean, the morphogenetic field really has not been mentioned so far in the
The
game.
body's just an output device of sorts.
But who knows, maybe it'll come into play.
If we were talking about one of them personal computers here, you could say a Gollum's kind of like a monitor, right?
Right, a monitor on which you could program something like a certain programmer hacker did in the last game.
Huh? Wait a minute. Then wouldn't that make you part of Zero Junior?
Well, I suppose you could say that. What with us sharing a mainframe and all. But I don't know shit all about this game he's running. That part of the mainframe's locked away from the rest of us. I'm an independent core. Zero and I are two different blokes. You recollect what Gollum stands for, huh? I'm autonomous. You sure, Governor? I watched you cross your arms just now. And now you're frowning and your forehead's getting all wrinkly. Do you do these things on purpose? Well, when you crossed your arms, were you thinking, right then, let's cross them, shall we? Curl on down then, mouth. Oh, and eyebrows. I'd be much obliged if you'd squeeze in a bit. There's a good pair of blokes. That's what you was thinking, innit? No? Didn't reckon so. I figure you did all of that subconsciously. Ain't no man on earth who says to himself, feeling a mite nervous, I'll just twitch me leg around a bit, you know? Who's thinking real hard about something and says to themselves, well, think I'll just give the old loaf a scratch, that'll help. How's about when you reach for your tea? When you turn a page in your book? Or what about when your eyes just go straight for the pear on that bird you fancy? Yeah, the list goes on, me chums. But all of those things are your subconscious at work. Now, true, when part of your body does something, it's because your brain said so. But that don't mean your conscious mind is involved.
Yeah, I think we're kind of going off on a tangent here.
Fact is, it can't be. If your brain had to deal with all the piddly bits of living, it'd make you balmy.
I kind of think that we were just surprised at the robot getting up and Maybe there's more important things we could be talking about with the robot.
That's how us Gollums and the young master get along.
I guess it's not surprising that there's a robot,
You got it all sorted now, chums?
since Zero the Third would need something physical to be able to actually interact with the real world, since Zero the Third itself cannot.
Then you're saying that Zero Jr. is the central part of the mainframe, and the Gollums are like his hands and feet?
Righto! Blimey. Guess I shouldn't be talking about such heavy rubbish, eh? My shoulders are all stiff.
And you said your back hurt earlier. Are you just messing with us?
Yes, I did. And no, I ain't. Me back is a right mess, it is. Last maintenance check, they just left me here. I've been on this bed here for years. The lubricant for me joints is all gummed up. Every time I move, it hurts.
But why did you wake up again after all this time?
And why would it be programmed to feel pain?
Why do you think, Puv? 'Cause you lot turned me on is why. Especially that other missus over there. Right you are, Governor.
Can you come with us then? The others need to see this.
No, I can't, and more's a pity.
Oh, that's disappointing. I could think of a number of characters I would like to replace with him.
I can only go as far as this cable here will let me. I got internal batteries, but they're knackered. Matter of fact, that's why I was here for maintenance in the first place. The same goes for these other blokes too. Of course, they ain't connected to a power cable like I am, so they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Huh? What question is that? Right, so you did. Not sure why you've got to bug up your arse about that particular issue, though. Curious, are you? Oh, that's a good word, that is. A good, powerful word. The kind of word that will set any robot's heart to flutter. Let's get you sorted then, shall we? Just lend me your lords and peers for a tick. So, how can a robot get stiff shoulders? And what does pain mean to a robot? Tell me, Guff, you ever heard of the Chinese room?
Yeah, they made Dear Esther, right? As well as Amnesia Machine for Pigs. I believe that's who they are. Wow, they even busted out some custom art for this metaphor. I think Sigma at this point has to question the importance of being able to understand what stiff shoulders would mean to a robot. I mean, I'm sure he's curious about it. I'm just wondering if it's really worth figuring out at this point. If the question has to be answered via metaphor. Via short story. This is a very different way for this puzzle room to end, anyway. Much different from any other puzzle room that we've seen so far. I just wonder if maybe Gollum could be telling us, using this time to tell us maybe some more relevant information to our current situation, even if he may not be connected to the mainframe that has the information on what the nonary game is all about. Still, he probably could tell us something that's a bit more interest. And why aren't we hearing Gollum actually voice this short story with that lovely voice?
Yes?
Is there any particular reason this girl is, pretty? Or why we need to know what color underwear she's wearing?
Can't say there is. Just tickles me fancy, I guess. But the prettier the bird is, the more fun the story is, isn't it?
What?
What?
Right. Well, what I wanted to say was this. All them Chinese blokes outside the room didn't know nothing about them books what she had. So it follows that they would have thought whoever was inside spoke Chinese just like them. You see? After all, far as they can tell, they're having a nice little chinway with one of their countrymen.
That is a tremendous answer to some other question that someone else must have asked, because it wasn't what Sigma asked.
You thick! I feel pain when my body's having a spot of bother. Well, hold up, mate, this ain't right. We keep this up and we're buggered. If things go really pear-shaped, we'll be brown bread. So says the central computer to itself, seeing that things are a bit bollocksed. In the interest of extricating my body from this unpleasant predicament, the mainframe sends out a signal over the wireless. And my software interprets that signal as pain, and I stop doing whatever daft thing I was doing.
Well, that's a much more relevant explanation, it seems.
It's the same, innit? Just like the Chinese room.
So you're saying the robots feel pain differently than humans, right?
That sounds like it's pretty similar, actually.
Use your loaf, missy.
Pain being used to determine an irregularity in the body.
You listen to a word I've said. A human feels pain when you do something you shouldn't, like sit your bum down on a tack, right? Same thing for us robots. If you feel like being clever about it, there ain't really that much different between a human and a robot. Forget all about that mainframe and signal bollocks, and us golems ain't that different from the bird in the room. So think about it, love. How do you know humans ain't the same, just without all the electronic-y pony, huh? What if, when someone asks you a question, all you're doing is pulling out the right answer from some sort of phrase book in your brain?
From some sort of morphogenetic field, maybe?
Ain't no way to prove that, of course, but far as I can see, there ain't no reason to.
Because there are other people who are thinking of the answer, maybe?
I mean, it's all the same, innit?
And those people might be 9 years in the future, I don't know.
If you're actually a thinking creature, or if you're just some kind of language processing machine. All what matters is if the person next to you does what a human ought. Looks like a person, acts like a person, and talks like a person, then it's probably a person. You want to live a normal life? That's all you need to know.
Alright, there's that open door that we could have just left at any time. I wonder if there was a reason for any of this.
Lay it on me, Governor. Ah, right you are, mate, right you are. Got so carried away I near forgot. Haven't seen anyone for yonks, and I got a mite excited as all.
Ugh, just spit it out.
Right. Well, there was something I wanted to tell you, lot.
Oh, really? Does it require another short story, maybe?
What was it?
Patience, darling.
I think we've had that.
Now, I know I might look a bit out of sorts at the moment, but I ain't really supposed to. Same thing for the rest of the blokes here. Fact is, the reason we look a bit like skeletons is because we are a bit like skeletons. There's this special artificial biological tissue what's called ABT. When a golem's all new and shiny, they've got a nice suit of ABT over that metal skeleton. Makes us look right human, it does. Even feels like real skin, with pores, a little bit of hair, and a few pimples, scars and the like. Truth to tell, I doubt you'd be able to tell the real from the fake, even if it was right in front of you.
Is that right?
See, right in the middle of...
Command violation. Rogue processes detected. Product ID GTMCMGOLM. Executing emergency deactivation. Unit GTMCMGOLM now inactive. No other rogue processes detected in additional Gollum platforms. Returning to surveillance mode.
It would seem so.
It looks like it.
I wonder what he was trying to tell us.
It sounded like it was something that might have been relevant to the plot. I don't know.
See, right in the middle of...
An Ambidex gate has been opened.
Well, enough of thinking about that.
45 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Let's forget all about the fact that there's the possibility that human-looking robots, that technology apparently exists and is in this place.
Someone on the other team must have opened it.
The game does like interrupting potential plot points with the Ambidex game.
We have to hurry.
They did that with Tenmyoji as well, interrupting his explanation, and then when we got back to it, he didn't want to talk about it anymore. So, okay, potential robots. Who might be a robot? Could be anyone, really, if we can believe Gollum. That artificial flesh does exist, that you could not actually tell the difference, even if you were up close to it. Maybe K is a robot who looks like a human who looks like a robot. Yes. I mean, in this case, K is probably the most likely person to not be a robot, actually, since he would not actually need the artificial flesh. The person who looks the most human is probably the robot.
Why did you open the AB gate before everyone got back?
I apologize. We only turned away for a moment.
Dio opened it.
Oh, that Dio.
You got a problem with that?
Of course we do.
Why? I don't remember us all promising we wouldn't open the thing until everyone showed up.
Dio is the most surly ringmaster ever.
Probably both. We were able to get back here in time. But what about the others? Tenmyoji, Quark, and Clover are still out there somewhere. What were you planning to do if they didn't get back in time?
Nothing. Why would I have to do anything? Didn't you hear the voice? Anybody who doesn't get back in time to vote just gets their vote automatically set to ally. Seems pretty straightforward to me. So what if they don't get back in time? They'll all get set to ally and all three of them will get 2 BP. Sounds like a sweet deal to me. Tenmyoji's only got 1 BP. I figure he'll be pretty happy to get 2 more. And that'll put Quark and Clover up close to 9. So that's not too bad for them either. In other words, they ought to be thanking me.
I guess the new rules that we got is going to contradict that.
What?
Right, because that one mentioned it.
What's this? Here are some more AB game rules for you. Not voting is not an option. If both parties refuse to vote, then every bunny gets penalized. In other words, one person out of every color group of 3 has to vote. What the hell, man? This wasn't in our room. Back me up here, guys.
He's right.
There was no such note in our safe.
Oh, well, damn. That's a bummer. I'd never have opened the gate if I'd known about this. Of course.
I'm worried about the others.
Yeah, probably should be.
If time runs out, they'll...
After all, they took Quark with them, and who knows how he is at this point.
They'll be penalized, yes.
I know.
They might have their hands full with him right now.
Quark is part of that team. Maybe something happened with him.
I think probably something did.
This is bad.
Yes, unfortunately, we cannot just open Kay's head, because at this point I think no one is thinking about it. We're all thinking about Quark. And also no one's thinking about robots, even though we might potentially all be robots. But that's something we're not going to think about right now, because we're too busy with the AB game. Oh, hey, they made it after all.
Quark! Has Quark been here?
Did something happen to him?
He disappeared.
Did he happen to say anything about dying being the only way out? Because I have a feeling he probably started to say something about that.
I mean, he's gone. We can't find him anywhere. When was the last time you saw him?
We were heading back here.
Tenmyoji and I went into the lounge, but Quark didn't follow us.
We turned around and started calling for him, but...
When he didn't respond, we ran back the way we'd come.
And you couldn't find him?
Right.
We thought maybe he just hadn't seen us go into the lounge.
So we checked the crew quarters and the infirmary.
But he wasn't there either.
All right. We need to split up. If we can't find him in any of the Floor A rooms, we'll move to Floor B.
Okay.
It sounds like
I need to go tell Alice.
we're going to have to put off this AB game for right now as we search for Quark.
You guys go on ahead.
Well, it looks like even though we do need to vote, that's correct. It looks like we're not going to do that right now. We're going to have to go out and see if we can find Quark, even though we can kind of guess what's probably happening with him. Can't we take this opportunity to vote ally? Yeah, just go in and vote real quick. That would be nice, but it doesn't look like we're doing that. And it is a little bit frustrating knowing that we have what could be the key to Kay's head, as well as potential information about people being robots, but the characters are just not thinking about that right now, because they have the AB game to think about, they have Quark's disappearance to think about.
He's not in the other two either.
So we're gonna have to put those things off as well, it seems.
There's no one here. Right. Okay, let's leave that to them and head to Floor B.
Well, at least we're getting down to it when it comes to searching. We're not spending too much time standing around and talking. If only Dio wasn't an idiot. That's like saying if only the skies weren't blue, if only the grass wasn't green. Do we note about Radical 6 in this timeline? I forget if it's been mentioned yet. Just the newspaper clipping. So no one else has talked about it, okay.
Yeah, so? You want to see it? Fine. Follow me.
Right, so we saw the article about Radical 6, but no discussion about Radical 6 has come up as of yet. It's kind of hard to figure out which timeline it is that this stuff has been talked about, since we've seen it a few times now. Do we have time for this? No, we probably don't have time for this. I mean, I suppose if we found Quark right here, it would be worthwhile.
That drawer over there is stuffed with processed food. Wasn't half bad, actually. Yeah.
Ah, she got to eat a snack.
There was some paella, nasi goreng, schnitzel, yukejang, borscht, and tom kha gai.
She got to eat all that, and all we got to do was talk with a robot.
Oh, and I ate the chef's pasta, too. Can't help it.
Sigma hasn't eaten anything since this whole thing started.
I'm a growing girl.
So with that, I think we're going to take a break for a few minutes as we have this little comedic segment, I guess we'll call it, in our search for Quark as we race against the clock before the AB game stops, which interrupted our discussion about everyone potentially being robots, which interrupted our train of thought that we might have the key to Quark's head. A lot of things stacked up in this order, but the first thing we have to do is find Quark before any of these other things could happen. Be back in a few minutes for more Virtue's Last Reward.